Marvel Champion stuff. He also does the other LCGs.
All right, where? I got to put up my phone. I need a D8. No, let's go check. Hello and welcome. So we're doing a recap of the best and worst games that we've played in 2023, and it does mean that there's going to be games that were not released this year also. But first, get to the giveaway for the 2023. Thank you to everyone for getting me to 100 subscribers. I hope you guys got what you wanted for Christmas or the holidays. So with that, let's get to the drawing. I got to go find the thing. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's not right. Yeah.
That mic picks up everything.
Yeah, everyone was telling me that it wasn't great on the audio, but I thought it was all right. All right, where are the comments? There it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. I shouldn't roll this. I rolled low. Jason, roll it.
4.
4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I copy 7. So I copy 7 is going to win the copy of X-Force for Marvel United. I should have pulled that out. But I will contact him right now. Not that one. It's a sealed one, but whatever. But yeah, Ice Coffee 7. So I've just messaged you. I will get with you with contact details somehow, but expect it from something from Genji Enterprises. All right, so let's get to our selection of game stuff. So, John, best games that you've played this year?
For me, in my top 5 are going to be Dune Rising. I like that the change to the mechanics from the original Imperium. It's it's a good game. I like the spy mechanic. Spice is much more important. Well, it was always important, but it's still important. But you have to choose between, do you want worms or do you want spice? Or you get spicy worms.
That sounds like a Klingon dish.
Having influence with all of the factions is really important if you want to use locations or things on cards is much more important. Especially what I like is that in the conflict card deck, it's not as heavy on the victory points. Victory points comes more from pairing up the little symbols in the conflicts. If you want a victory, you have to win more conflicts that match the symbols to get the victory. And if there is victory on the cards, or extra victory, you have to pay for it. And one way to get around that is actually to use the worms in the conflict to double your winnings. So yeah, I really like that game, and I can't wait to see either maybe expansions or play it with from some of the expansions from Imperium, the original game. My other Top 5 is going to be Hedge Money. I like this game. It's pretty fun. I've played the middle class and I've played the capitalists. I have yet to play the government or the working class, but I really like this game. It's really fun. So yeah, Hedge Money. We need to play this more. My next is Arkham Horror card game. I think this is kind of what really brought our group together, as we were all into this, and this is always fun. The campaigns are great. Building the challenge of building your character deck is what I love about this. There's so many ways to do it, so many people to choose from, and all this the campaign challenges. Each one is different, and sometimes the chaos bag will get you in the end, and there's really nothing you can do about that. But it's a challenge of it that I love. After that, Cubed is one of my top 5. It's like a play on dominoes, but you got the 6-sided, but 3-colored pieces, and you have to match the colors together. And it's a real thinker, and I really enjoyed this game. And I think when we first played it, I was like, I got to 7 wins, no losses in a row playing this. It was a pretty good game. I like this game. And the piece manufacturer is really great. I mean, it's good quality. And finally, personal favorite of mine, and I've been just starting to get back into it with another friend, Star Wars Armada. You can't really beat space triangles.
I don't think he has. Oh, he's got that right there. Okay.
And the best space triangle of all. This, yeah. So that's my top 5 for this year games that I played. For me, worst game is going to be Star Wars: The Deck Builder. It's just kind of disappointing. The mechanics aren't that great. What's that other game?
Star Realms.
Star Realms. Yeah. Star Realms is hands above better than this game, I would say. And I've played Star Realms before. So yeah, those are my top 5 and my worst.
We don't have Marvel Champions.
No, we don't have Great Western Trail either.
Oh, you took that home, didn't
No,
you?
yeah, I took it home.
All right. Well, Jason's in.
So, yeah. So my top 5, 2 of them we don't have here. So my top game of the year is Marvel Champions. I just love that game. You take your basically your favorite Marvel hero, take him up against your favorite Marvel villain, and fight it out. See who wins. It's great. Also, it's a co-op LCG that you could play solo, like Arkham. So I was like, what?
Robot Question.
Which one?
So when I want to play it by myself, I could do that, and that's what I've been doing recently. I've been taking on all the pre-con decks for it against all the villains. So that's that one.
Yeah. If you guys are actually interested, we will do Marvel Champions stuff. Just leave comments below, and we'll start doing Marvel Champions live plays or reviews.
Yeah, and I could actually teach John the game. He hasn't played it yet.
I thought John has played.
No, we play with Coulter all the time.
Okay.
And then next on my list, top 5 is got to be Earthborn Rangers. Another co-op LCG cut game, more recent. Basically, well, we've just been doing our first playthrough, which seems more urgent, I think, than probably it needs to be. I think that's just because it's like we're focused on the main mission. But this game has been described by like a walk in the woods, and I'm pretty sure you could play it that way. We just don't, because we're used to Arkham, where there's a thing that needs to get done, and we need to get it done right now. But yeah, I'd be interested to see how this plays when I'm just kind of going off doing my own thing. But yeah, other than that, I'm having real fun with it. Next on the list is Distill. I can't really describe why I like this game so much.
Because it's a deck builder. It's like
it's not really a deck builder, but yeah, it sort of is. Put your ingredients together and then use them to the best of your abilities to make points. Brew some beer. I don't drink, so the beer part just is totally lost on me. But it's fun. Trust me, it's fun. That's what I gotta say. So, and then number 4 is going to be Robot Quest Arena. Yeah, it's Battle Boss the deck builder. It's got wrong way. Cute little robots. You go around, you fight them, you beat the shit out of each other. You build a deck. It's deck building. I enjoy a good deck building game. So yeah, that's Robot Quest Arena. And then number 5 on my list is we don't have. It's a home still. Is Great Western Trail, specifically Argentina. Great Western Trail, 2nd edition, the original game. I think. There wasn't enough to do with the cards. That was our problem with it. That's what Argentina fixed with the boats and whatnot.
Argentina added a lot more play variety. It also added that urgency with the timer more.
Added those shortcuts, which is really good. The shortcuts, which meant you could circle around the track faster. Because Great Western Trail is kind of it's a rondel. You're running around this rondel. You're managing your hand the whole time, trying to build up a big hand to get a good chunk of points. And then, move around to the next one, do that for a couple rounds. It's deck building, it's hand management. It's really fun. And then my worst game of my worst game of the year. Not really worst game, but worst of a good game is this right here. Scarlet Keys. Too much much ado about nothing, kind of. Running around all over the map for the people on that map to tell you to go back to somewhere you already went, and just like
isn't that Earthborn Rangers?
Way too long. See, that's only Earthborn Rangers because you're making it that. This is like that's all you're doing. But yeah, just the way they set this expansion up, it was way too long for what it was. And all that back and forth made it feel like it took even longer. So yeah, this is the worst experience I had with the game this year. And like I said, it's not a bad game. Arkham Horror is a great game. Just this expansion was not my cup of tea.
Nah, that's pretty common with how a lot of people feel about it. All right. So for my top 5, we have, again, Dune Uprising. As John stated, lots of improvements. They've cleaned up a lot of mechanics in the game. The spy system is really fun. The worms, the scoring. We haven't played it with the expansions yet. We're slowly getting into it, and I want to do the Emperor mode. I have 3 other people that I've been teaching the game to. Eventually, we'll try out the Emperor mode and see how that goes. But this adds a lot of variety. It fixes a lot of the issues we had, especially like the Mentat was a big thing we fought over. The spies allowing Highliner not to be super overpowered because Highliner is just bad. I really like it. I don't think it's a money grab like most people say. If you don't have Imperium, I recommend getting Uprising instead because it does fix a lot of the things that were not terribly wrong with Imperium. Definitely an improvement. And they put a lot of thought to it, especially since this is designed to work with the expansions. It doesn't work too well with the House of Ix expansion from what they described, but we haven't tried it yet, so can't judge. Next up is Brass Birmingham. I love Birmingham. I play this game. I think we played this game probably more than anything else this year. Maybe a close.
Probably not Arkham, just because
Yeah.
we did like what 2 campaigns this year.
Yeah.
Because we redid. What was it, Carcosa that we redid?
No, we did Dunwich again.
So,
But I love Brass. Brass is a really good game. I love I call it parasitic, but some people call it more of a symbiotic relationship. But Brass is a very parasitic relationship, in my opinion, just because it's all about extorting everyone else's resources for your gain. Yeah, they get something in return, but you're getting usually better returns. Another thing that's really nice about Brass is you're not really sure who's winning until the end. And that's one of the nice surprises because it kind of gives you that hope that you're going to stay in the game. Brass does have its problems, but I still think Brass is pretty good.
it's Birmingham, not Lancaster.
Lancaster's also awful. And Hegemon?
Bottom of the stack.
I also love Hegemony. This is a game that really surprised me. I didn't think a civics class would be a fun board game, but there's a lot of fun stuff you can do it here. Granted, I have won a lot of games, and mainly by playing the government. The government does feel really limited because you're just at the whim of random control, and it doesn't feel like you really care about your people. So I guess that's reality. But this is a really fun game. It does come with a little civics lesson on, social economic standards, but not too heavy. I mean, you could be part of the very smart group if you read it, but whatever. But it's a fun game. It's designed really well. My only issue was that I did order the expansion with it, and they didn't send it to me because I didn't click on that for the Kickstarter shipping, and I still don't have the expansion, even though they said it's releasing. So if it does come out, let me know, because I can't find it. I do have it on pre-order. But we're going to play this more because we really enjoy this game. We just don't play it enough because getting all 4 of us to agree at one time, besides all the campaign stuff we're running and other nonsense. But Hegemony is a really good game. I encourage you to check it out. It's actually really interesting, really neat, adds a lot of variety. One of the newest games I got, Senjutsu. I really enjoy this game. And this has come from someone that used to play the X-Wing tabletop game a lot. I quit playing X-Wing after 2.0 because I just thought it was a money grab and didn't really fix a lot. One of the things I said would fix X-Wing was putting objectives like Armada, and that's what they did, but it still hasn't brought me back. Senjutsu has brought me back to a maneuvering type game. I love the dance. It feels like a dance. Playing the cards, judging your opponents, using your terrain, moving, getting the best chance to actually get the attack. And Senjutsu has a deck building component that adds a lot of variety. The game does seem to be set up to be doing tournament play, which I hope to see in the future, especially when they release more stuff for it. But just my first impression from the game, I've played the game about 6 times now. I really enjoy it. I think it's phenomenal. The presentation of it, how they packed everything was incredible. And I honestly was surprised I got so much value out of the box. It is definitely the newcomer, but I am rating it this high because very few games have encouraged me to be like, oh, I want to play this again. And last, we have Arkham. As John said, this is the game that really got us all together and play consistently. I love Arkham Horror. I love the deck building. I love the theme. Yeah, it gets repetitive, but knowing how a story ends doesn't change what you do on that journey. And that's one thing I really like about Arkham. And if you saw my rant of like why I think Arkham is still better than Earthborn Rangers, Earthborn Rangers is very repetitive to me, and as Jason says, it's because we play with this back and forth mechanic that I'm so used to winning. I like having a clear defined goal and objectives and things to do. I like having progression, which Arkham does very well. I don't like the fact that Arkham doesn't have the permanent system that Earthborn Rangers has. But Arkham works out for me. I still enjoy the game a lot. I like the deck building variety. And they keep on building it new. Some things like the Scarlet Keys are hit and miss because it is, like Jason says, a lot of backtracking and going back and forth. But Arkham still adds that variety for the adventure. There's multiple paths to always choose. So I do enjoy Arkham Horror a lot. My worst game for the year, and this isn't just me on them with their customer support, is... what did I do with it?
Good question.
Oh, it's right there.
You threw it in the garbage already. Oh, right there.
No, it's 2 jumps left, right there. This is absolutely the worst game that I have played this year. I despise the game. I contacted Moongirl, and that was just because of how the components were, the damage, and I got a snarky response from them. But that's not the thing that drives it. This game is mechanically flawed. It's boring. It doesn't feel like you're doing anything. It is an RNG system that is beyond your control. I don't like it. I think it's a terrible game. You might enjoy it. Explain to me why in the comments, but this is probably the worst game, and that's saying a lot because we have a lot of bad games. But this one definitely has left the worst taste in my mouth just from the playthrough. Coulter's not here today because he decided to go out and party all night. So we called Coulter up, and he gave us his top 5. Coulter loves and still loves the original Dune Imperium. And yeah, it's a good game. We played a lot. Granted, you know, Uprising came out back in November-ish. So we haven't got a lot of games of Uprising in, but we have played a lot of Imperium, and I agree with them that Imperium is good. But I still think the fixes of Uprising are really good. Nexus. Where is Nexus? What did I do with that? I thought it was on the top shelf.
No, it's not up there.
No. It's probably down there somewhere.
Yeah, it's probably down like behind
Coulter's number 2 game is Nexus.
bottom shelf, like all the way on the bottom.
I actually enjoy Nexus, but I do see the point of like some of us in the game crowd that don't enjoy it as much because Nexus is very punishing. But Nexus is really fun with a lot of the battle stuff. And if you like a wrestling game, Nexus definitely fits, especially with the trash talking, being a heel. Nexus lets you play that role really well. I know one of Jason's issues with Nexus was there wasn't a lot of variety, but they are working on an expansion, and I have pre-ordered the expansion for Nexus. But we can't find the box. It's somewhere in my giant pile of stuff. Next up, we have Hadrian's Wall, which I love to call Excel, the board game. I do find this fun for a Excel spreadsheet simulator. It's a really neat game. It's really short. We enjoy it, but it's nowhere near the top 5. I think Coulter, being more of the computer nerd type guy, enjoys this type of game more. And then Coulter's 4th, we have Path of Light and Shadow.
Which we're gonna put this box on because of the state of the other box.
Yep. Path of Light and Shadow is an awesome deck building area control game. A lot of fun thematic stuff to it. The conquering, the variety of stuff you can do. Path is really cool. I do like Path of Light and Shadow. And I can see where Coulter puts it higher than, let's say, you know, some of the other deck building games we have. It's just a really fun game. It does take up a lot of space.
I mean,
It does.
yeah, it does.
I mean, a lot of our games do. And then Coulter's 5th, Arkham. Arkham is, like I said earlier, it's brought us together. We enjoy Arkham Horror a lot. It can be hit or miss, and there's not much to say there. Coulter's worst game is... It's next to the Cthulhu Mini. Next to the Cthulhu Mini. It's on your left middle.
It's the those boxes there.
Coulter hates the Exceed system.
Did you do a video on this? No.
No, I never
Okay.
did a video on Exceed just because it's, I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. After Jason, I know his first impressions, he really didn't like it.
But I didn't like it at first, but once you explained it and I actually understood what I was doing with it, yeah, I enjoyed it. It's like Neo in those other games.
It's the best reputation I've seen of a fighting game made into a card game. And you have to understand if you play fighting games, and I get that Coulter's never really played like Street Fighter or any of this stuff, so Exceed just doesn't work for him. So I get it. It's not for everyone. It's not a game we play a lot. Honestly, we haven't touched it in a long time because just the disdain that Coulter has for it. But I still think it's decent.
That's one-on-one, so
Yeah, that doesn't fit our group. All right. Now let's get to the most disappointing game that we've played this year.
this one. This is Ultra Skyrim, the adventure game by Modiphius Entertainment. I didn't really look at the Kickstarter for this one, so that may be part of it. but I assumed this was going to be like Skyrim on the table. You're running around, you're adventuring, you're using a combat system and leveling up your skills and all that stuff. No, it was you get a weapon set and you get a race, and you fight tokens. And I mean, there's miniatures for things because there's also miniatures, tabletop miniature little skirmish game, which also isn't great.
No, it's bad. It's really bad. The fact they don't even give you the stuff to properly play it out, all the Kickstarter stuff, unless you bought that specifically, is really weird because they gave you here's a taste, but you can't really do it. So it's really odd.
And we watched some videos on the components for that game that didn't really look great. It didn't really look worth investing in. But yeah, hopefully I do have the one from Chip Theory Games on order. Hopefully that one's better.
I don't hate it. It's definitely disappointing. There's a lot of stuff, but it's also Skyrim, and Skyrim is buggy as hell. It's really hard to judge this game. It is disappointing because it's not really fun, especially since doing a prequel story that they try to make sense. It kind of fell apart on that too. There's some neat aspects to it. I like the dungeons, but the dungeons are super repetitive with the cards going back and the system. That's Skyrim in a nutshell too. You're doing the same thing over and over. I don't know what I was expecting. I guess I was expecting more than could be promised. It's kind of like the Darkest Dungeon, but we didn't play that at all this year.
I think that's what I was expecting. More of a dungeon crawl, less of whatever that was. Because that plays more like The Witcher, but co-op.
Now time for our most wasted potential games. And it's not going to be a surprise. Monster Hunter is definitely on there. And when I bring up wasted potential, this game has a lot of cool stuff going for it. I do like the deck building. I do like the biggest thing that just Steamforged seems to think grinding is a great board game mechanic, which I don't understand Steamforged's line of thought. Like the Dark Souls board game, I enjoy that, but the grinding mechanic of that is just god awful compared to playing Dark Souls. Like, why wouldn't you just play Dark Souls? Why wouldn't you just play the video game? Because you have to constantly reset and redo it.
Do you have Kush Lador down there?
I don't know which one.
That's the big one.
Yeah, probably. It has a lot of cool mechanics. The deck building's kind of neat, the weapons, but some of the things that we tried, so we tried the offshoots of it were really bad because one of the scenarios was we had to go fight the lightning weasel, but it gave Jason all the lightning gear, and I was just like, why did they give you the most inefficient pre-built to do a one-off? But the minis are really cool because it's Steamforged, and
that's what I was going to ask. These minis, if you get that off the screen, these minis are really good. There we go. There we go. The detail on these is really nice if you're into that kind of thing. You could use these for other things. Like
Jurassic Park.
I think Frostgrave, we could probably use some of these for Frostgrave.
D&D RPG.
Or in any RPG or whatever, but so the minis are really good quality, but the gameplay is just it's a boss battler. Don't get it for anything other than that.
What was our other most disappointing game? Oh, Mission Critical. Just grab the
second shelf, right hand corner, all the way in the back. But yeah. I can go back.
As I've said in the review, Mission Critical, this definitely feels like a beta test. This game has so much potential to actually be better, and I am actually surprised that Renegade hasn't tried to actually release different terrain and different stuff. They just keep on releasing new units. I've been hoping that they would release things to actually change the board layout, but like I said, they've just been releasing units. And it is definitely one of those games of I don't like it, but I can't judge it yet because it has the potential to be more. And that's what I think really hurts Mission Critical. I know there's some people that really love this game. I actually like the card game a lot more than the board game. I just don't think it's great. The minis are weird too because of the just huge disproportionate sizing. But I think the card game is a lot better. It's a lot easier. It's a lot better. Mission Critical itself as a board game is kind of clunky, but it has potential. And I'm hoping these days, hopefully in the future, they'll release an expansion that I think is worth picking up to actually change the gameplay.
Yep. And then our final.
We have this giant copy of The Witcher. I actually enjoy this game. I don't think it's perfect, but I do like, and I think a lot of it comes down to the lore. I have not read the Witcher stuff. I didn't really watch the show, so I don't really like the Witcher games.
I think for me, it's the fighting system. It's kind of wonky for me. The pitching cards, but when you pitch all your cards, you're dead and you're defeated. And the matching of the cards, it's a little wonky for me. I think they could have done a little better on the fighting system.
You had your own. Right?
I've only played this maybe twice, so that's just my opinion. But
I know you had your gripes about it.
None that I can remember at the moment, honestly. I actually don't have anything to say about it.
I thought you said like the mage thing was like what you hated.
It's been so long since we played the game. I don't remember. I've slept since then.
All right. Well, that's our review.
Again, game. I think for not knowing a lot about the Witcher stuff, it's actually what makes it more favorable to me than other players. But I know a lot of people are disappointed by it. I put it in the category it's all right. I don't think it needs as much work as some people do. But that has been our yearly recap for our top 5 most disappointing and the worst games. And again, these are all just our opinions, so don't take them as gospel or anything.
No, Marvel Champions is objectively the best game ever made.
Yeah, says Jason.
That's objective truth. You can't argue with that.
Other than that, I'd like to say Happy New Year, everyone. I hope that next year turns out great for everyone. And I hope to see you guys back on GG over here.
And don't drink and drive.
And, don't drink and drive. Be responsible. Be nice. Have fun. And GG's. Happy New Year to you too, Sebastian. Sorry I missed the early part. We're almost done with this. But we just did our top 5 review. And best and worst games and wasted potential. And then we just announced our winner for the 2023 giveaway, which was Ice Coffee 7, I believe. And my short-term memory is really bad. Yep, Ice Coffee 7. If you're interested, we are going to continue a 2024 giveaway. I will put that video out probably tomorrow. I don't know when. But if you want to enter it, just leave a comment below. And then we'll message you when you hit those milestones. All right.
He's gone.
Yep.
And he's gone.